Hello students! Today, we are going to study about sets, the language of sets. In this video, our objectives are: Number 1. To describe and illustrate well-defined sets. Number 2. To illustrate roster method and set builder notation. Number 3. To identify the elements of a set. Number 4. To identify the cardinality of a set. And number 5. To differentiate between finite and infinite sets. Are you ready? But before we start, there are some terminologies that we need to consider in dealing with sets. Do you still remember these terms? Whole numbers, counting or natural numbers, even numbers, odd numbers, multiples of a number. We also have factors of a number, prime numbers, and composite numbers. Kung oo, then very good. At kung hindi, then let me help you. Whole numbers, set of numbers that starts from 0 to positive infinity. Sa madaling sabi, hindi kasama yung mga negative na numbers. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. These are whole numbers. Next, we have counting or natural numbers. So, di ba pag nagka-count tayo, nag-start tayo kay 1. Hindi tayo nag-start kay 0. So, dito, hindi kasama si 0. So, for counting numbers, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Next, even numbers. Okay guys, disregard mo natin yung mga negative dahil wala pa tayo sa topic na integers. Pero we also have negative even numbers, okay? Alright, so for even numbers, these are numbers which are divisible by 2. So, ano yung mga yon? Yung mga pwede mong i-divide, divisible sila kay 2. We have 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Lahat sila divisible by 2. Pwedeng i-divide kay 2. Okay, at whole number ang magiging sagot. Okay, next, odd numbers. So, kung ano ang kabaliktaran ni even numbers, we have the odd numbers. We have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on. Sila naman yung mga numbers na hindi divisible by 2. Next, number 5, we also have the multiples of a number. These are the product obtained when you multiply a number by a whole number. So, example, multiples of 5, we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and so on. Multiples of 3, we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and so on. If I'm not mistaken, sa elementary, ang tawag nila dito ay skip counting. Okay. We also have number 6, factors of a number. These are the numbers that you multiply together to get another number. So, halimbawa, 8. 8 is equal to 1 times 8 and also equal to 2 times 4. So, therefore, the factors of 8 are 1, 2, 4, and 8. At take note ha, si 8 ay divisible ng mga factors niya. So, si 8 ay divisible by 1, 2, 4, and 8. Another example is 12. 12 is equal to 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. So, the factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. And 12 is divisible by these numbers. Next, prime numbers. These are numbers greater than 1 that can only be exactly divided by 1 in itself. So, examples of prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and so on. Take note lang po, ang pinakamaliit na prime number is 2. Si 1 ay hindi prime number, okay? Pag sa prime numbers, ang factors lang nila ay 1 and itself. Okay, di ba? 2 times 1, 3 times 1, 5 times 1, 7 times 1. Bukod doon, wala na sila iba pang factors. Unlike si composite numbers, kabaliktaran ni prime numbers, we have 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, and so on. Si 4, bukod kay 4 times 1, meron pa siyang 2 times 2 na factors. Si 6, bukod kay 6 times 1, meron pa siyang factors na 2 times 3. Now that you are equipped with the terms that you need to know, the question now is, what is a set? Look at the objects below. How can you group these objects and try to name each group? You can pause this video to do this task. Ano nga ba ang mga grupong maaari nating mabuo mula sa mga larawan na ito? You can possibly form groups like this tree. We can consider the first group as Group A, The second one as B, and the third one as C. Group A shows pictures of different fruits. Group B shows pictures of different sports balls. And Group C shows pictures of different flowers. Great job, students! Now, what is a set? A set is a well-defined group or collection of objects. Each object in a set is called a member or an element of a set. Example, let capital letter A be a group of fruits. So ito yung kaninang ginamit nating examples. The name of the set is usually written in capital letter. The elements of set A are apple, watermelon, and banana. And one more thing, the elements of a set are always enclosed by braces. A set has to be well-defined. These are sets with an exact object or elements. Here, you can easily determine the elements included in a set being described. Try to identify if the given sets are well-defined or not. Number 1, a subject in grade 7. Number 2, a popular actor. 3, a favorite fruit. And number 4, a student in your class. For number 1, a subject in grade 7. Pag sinabi nating subject in grade 7, we can easily tell and identify those subjects. Kumbaga, specific yung mga elements niya. Alam natin na ang subjects for grade 7 are math, Filipino, science, English, and so on. So, alam natin kung ilan at kung ano ang mga elements ng set na to. Therefore, it is well-defined. Number 2, a popular actor. Let's say, para sa aking lola, si Willie Revillame is a popular actor. Pero para sa ibang tao, sikat ba siya para sa lahat? Iba-iba ang ating opinyon at pamantayan ng pagiging sikat. So, it is not well-defined. Number 3, a favorite fruit. So, just like number 2, it is also opinionated or maaaring iba-iba tayo ng paborito. So, therefore, it is also not well-defined. Next, number 4, a student in your class. There are specific elements or students in your class. Masasabi mo kung sino-sino at kung ilan yung mga students na kapabilang sa inyong klase. Therefore, it is well-defined. Here are 2 ways of defining a set. Number 1 is the roster method or listing the elements. And number 2 is a set builder notation or describing the elements. For set builder notation, sometimes mathematical symbols are used instead of words. Example, using roster or listing method, we have A or set A equal to elements 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So take note po ha, in writing a set, the name of the set is usually written in capital letter. And yung mga elements natin are enclosed by braces. Now, if you're going to rewrite it using set builder notation, it can be written as set A is equal to the set of x's such that x is a natural number greater than 2 but less than 8. So, paano po yun? As you can see, our greater than and less than symbols, so nakanganga si Pacman kay x, which means mas malaki si x compared kay 2 at nakaharap naman siya at nakanganga naman siya kay 8. Which means mas maliit naman si x compared kay 8. Mas malaki si 8. So again, set A is the set of all x's such that x is greater than 2 but less than 8. Once again, let's read it. Set A is a set of all x's such that x is a natural number greater than 2 but less than 8. So as you can notice, in set builder notation, dinescribe lang natin yung mga elements na given kay roster method. Numbers which are greater than 2 but less than 8. Diba? Yun yung 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Mga numbers na mas malaki kay 2 pero mas maliit kay 8. So that is the set builder notation. And take note po, in writing a notation using this set builder, you always start it with a set of x's such that x. So, dito siya lagi nag-i-start. Now, let us try to write each set using roster notation. Or, i-list down lang natin lahat ng mga elements na dinidescribe or given. Number 1, colors of the rainbow. And number 2, distinct letters in the word humility. Solutions. Number 1. So we all know what are the colors of the rainbow. We have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet or rosy beef. So tandaan lang po, in writing the elements of a set, wag kakalimutan yung mga braces natin. And elements are separated by commas or quit. Next, number 2. Distinct letters in the word humility. When we say distinct, diba, magkakaiba. Okay. So we have H, U, M, I, L, T, and Y. So again, huwag kakalimutan si braces. Take note also, when listing the elements of a set, identical elements are not repeated. Bawal maulit yung mga elements na nasa loob ng isang set. Next, let us try to write each set using set builder notation. So, this time, given naman yung mga elements, i-describe naman natin sila. For number 1, a set that contains letters A to P. And number 2, a set that contains 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, up to 100. Answers. For number 1, so ma-observe natin hindi lahat ng mga letters sa alphabet ay kasama. Meron lang specific na mga letters. If you're going to describe these elements, specific din ang ating pag-describe, ang description natin. So we can write this as a set of X such that X is one of the first 16 letters of the alphabet or the Filipino alphabet. For number 2, so kung ma-observe natin sa number 2, these are multiples of 10. Therefore, for number 2, it is a set of X such that X is one of the first 10 multiples of 10. Tama po ba? Okay, tama. It's your turn. Write each set using roster notation. Set A, the set of whole numbers between 0 and 10. Take note, between 0 and 10. Kasama ba si 0 and 10? Next, set B, the set of first 3 even counting numbers. Be mindful of the keywords used in every set. Set C is a set of all x's such that x is an odd counting numbers greater than 10 but less than 20. Set D, the set of whole numbers less than 5. And set E, the set of former women president of the Philippines. This time, I will not provide and reveal the correct answers for this activity. I challenge you to try and answer these sets and show your answers in the comment box. Second one, try each using set builder notation. Set M with elements 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40. Set A with elements letter M, O, N, K, E, and Y. Set T with elements A, E, I, O, and U. And set H with elements Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia. Again, if you want to try, just show your answers in the comment box. This time, let us discuss about the elements of a set. Let D be a set of all x such that x is one of the first 6 multiples of 4. When we say multiples, skip counting by 4. And the 6 multiples of 4, if we are going to use the roster method, are set D with elements 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and 24. These are the first 6 multiples of 4. From here, 16 is one of the first multiples of 4. Si 16 ay kabilang sa ating set na dinidescribe. So, 16 is an element of set D. And in symbols, we can write it as 16 is an element of D. Another one. 28 is not an element of set D dahil hindi siya kabilang sa first 6 multiples of 4 and wala siya dito sa ating set, written in roster method. In symbols, 28 is not an element of D. And last one, 20 is also an element of our set D. Si 20 ay kabilang sa ating set. So, 20 is an element of set D. Element of a set is denoted by this symbol. And if it is not an element, this symbol is negated. So, element, not an element of a set. Let us try this activity. Fill in the blank with an element or not an element symbol. With the given sets, A is equal to a set of even numbers between 0 and 10, and B is equal to a set of letters of the alphabet between C and J. Answer the following: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Kapag ganito ang problem at nagsisimula ka pa lang sa sets, I suggest that you express the given sets using roster method para mas madali. Pero kung kaya naman mentally, mas okay. Set A are even numbers between 0 and 10. Again, between 0 and 10, which means hindi kasama si 0 and 10, mga numbers na nasa gitna lang ng 0 and 10. For set A, we have 2, 4, 6, and 8. These are the even numbers between 0 and 10. And for set B, we have letters of the alphabet between C and J. So we have D, E, F, G, H, and I. Now, number 1. Is 2 an element or not an element of set A? As you can see, 2 is included in our set A, even numbers between 0 and 10. So it means it is an element of set A. Next, number 2. Is 5 an element or not an element of A? Obviously, 5 is not an even number. It is an odd number, so it is not an element of set A. Number 3. Is 12 an element or not an element of A? 12 is an even number, but it is not between 0 and 10. Wala siya sa set A natin, so it is not an element of our set A. Number 4. Is B an element of set B? As you can see, it is not included in our set B, so it is not an element of set B. And number 5. Is G an element or not an element of set B? As you can see, G is included in our set B, so it is an element of set B. Number of elements in a set. The number of elements in a set is also known as the cardinality of a set. Example: how many days are there in a week? And how many of these days are school days? If A represents the days of the week, then we can say that N of A is equal to 7. Dahil meron tayong 7 araw sa loob ng isang linggo. Or we can say the number of elements of set A is equal to 7. Or pwede ring the cardinality of set A is equal to 7. And if set B represents the number of school days, then we can say that the number of elements of set B is equal to 5 because we have 5 school days in a week. Finite and infinite sets. List the elements of each set. Number 1. The set of counting numbers less than 8. Less than 8, which means mababa kay 8. So we have 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. For counting numbers, 0 is not included. Number 2. The set of whole numbers greater than 4. Mas malaki kay 4. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on and so forth. Diba walang katapusan yung mga numbers na mas malaki kay 4? Number 3. The set of subjects that you have in school. We have Math, Science, English, Filipino, TLE, Araling Panlipunan, MAPE, and ESP. These are the subjects for grade 7 students. A set with no members is called an empty or null set. It is denoted by the symbol, open and closed braces, or this Danish letter. So pag walang members or elements ang isang set, tinatawag itong empty or null set. A set is a finite set if it is empty or if it can be placed into a one-to-one correspondence with a set of the form 1, 2, 3, and so on up to n where n is a counting number. Sa madaling sabi, the number of elements in a finite set is a whole number. Or, ibig sabihin, sa finite set, mabibilang natin kung ilan ng elements or yung cardinality nung isang set. If a set is not finite, it is said to be infinite or walang katapusan. The three dots called ellipses indicate that the set continues in that pattern. Example, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and so on and so forth. So, yung tatlong tuldok na to, it means na continuous yung set natin dun sa pattern na pinapakita ng set. Now, decide whether the set is a finite set or an infinite set and list the elements. You can pause this video and try to answer the following. Number 1. The set of counting numbers greater than 10. Counting numbers na mas malaki kay 10. So, we have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and so on. So, as you can see, walang katapusan yung mga numbers na mas malaki kay 10. So, it is an infinite set. Number 2. The set of whole numbers less than 5. Pag sinabing less than, mas mababa kay 5. We have 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Or pwedeng baliktad, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it is a finite set dahil may katapusan at nabibilang natin kung ilan yung elements sa set na yon. Number 3. The set of whole numbers less than 0. Whole numbers na mababa kay 0. It is an empty set dahil wala ng whole numbers na mas mababa pa kay 0. It is a finite set. And number 4. The set of all multiples of 3. We have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and so on and so forth. So, again, it is infinite dahil walang katapusan yung multiples ni 3. That's all. Sa next video na gagawin natin, we will discuss about some relations and sets. Equal and equivalent sets, subset, proper subset, universal set, and Venn diagrams. Hopefully ay may natutunan kayo. Thank you and God bless us all.